Hello, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for stopping by. So today we're going to continue our journey of the cheapest pedals that I can find from the various corners of the internet, and I'm going to buy them, I'm going to try them, and I'm going to let you hear what they sound like so that you perhaps don't have to, or perhaps you find that you do have to. So before I go into the video, let's just do a very quick bit of housekeeping. As always, the chapters will be linked below, so please feel free just to jump around, have a listen to this, have a listen to the unboxing, go straight to the tones, or just go to the final 30 seconds, whether I say if it's any good or not. But just, the main thing, just enjoy your stay. And yeah, that's about it, really. We're still lacking some gear, because again, I am recording the next single for my band Demape, and I'll link their web pages and their social medias below if you want to go and have a check out of what I do when I'm not talking to you guys. But what we're going to do now is we're going to continue with the next pedal in this series. And today we're going to be checking out the Ultimate Drive. Very much like the Crunch Distortion. I don't know what it is, what it's going to sound like, or even what it looks like. So let's get over to the desk and the slightly out of focus camera, and we'll do an unboxing and see what we got. I'll see you there. Okay, so that's us back over at the desk and the hopefully but potentially slightly out of focus camera, and we're just going to do an unboxing of the Ultimate Drive. So we're all pretty familiar with what this box looks like now, so let's not spend too long looking at it, but this is number 2 in the range. So we've got here a little bit of tape. It has made it with some tape across. It's the first one that I've seen with tape for a little while. So if we very quickly just go over to the desk, get some scissors and cut that open. So here we go, let's get into it. And here is the pedal in the little baggie with, as always, the manual. So let's get it out. And again, a slightly different manual. I think we have had one of these before, but obviously there's a, I don't think we've, manual. I think we've seen a manual before actually, so we have had one of these. So we're just going to pop that back in the box. We don't need that. We're just going to get into looking at the pedal. So it's in its little baggie. Does the baggie pop? That's the question. I've ripped the baggie. Wait a minute. The baggie pops. We like a poppy baggie. So let's get rid of the box. We don't need that. And let's have a look at the Ultimate Drive pedal. So it's a matte black finish. Quite nice. You've got 3 knobs as always. We know what we're getting here, but this one does have a toggle switch. A 3-position toggle switch. So you've got in the middle, you've got low, and you've got high. I'm hoping that actually might mean we've got 3 types of clipping. A low gain, middle gain, and then a high gain. So that'd be quite good to see what that sounds like. Again, quite like the finish on this. A matte black, nice, robust. Got your in here, your out here, and your 9-volt thingy there. Level, tone, and gain. This is potentially not true bypass because it doesn't say it here. Who knows? So apparently we need to run this and ensure with a power adapter with an output above 300 milliamps. I know they'll be out there. I can't think of the last time I saw a distortion or overdrive pedal that required more than 100 milliamps. So that'll be interesting. So quite a straightforward video there, or unboxing. So what we'll do is we'll go over to the amp and the guitar, plug it in, see what it sounds like. I'll see you there. Okay, so we're all set up, ready to go, and have a listen to this pedal, see what it sounds like. As always, we're going to spend 40 seconds just very quickly going over the other gear that we're using today. So we've still got the Blanche Flower Bolt Thin Line. Still using it because I've still got it, but I know it's going home soon. Then we've got a practical patch cable into the pedal, set on a Marcus Deluxe pedal board, and then we're going through a generic cable over to the Victory Duchess on a nice sort of clean channel with a touch of reverb. And the clean tone sounds like this. A nice sounding pedal platform, in my humble opinion. I guess the other thing is we don't always talk about the power, but this is being powered by a Voodoo Pedal Power 2, so that's what we're using to power it, and so it's getting its 9 volts as specified. So without further ado, let's get rid of the microphone let's turn it on and let's see what it sounds like. well, polar opposite to what we had last week with the crunch distortion. I'm not going to call it an awesome pedal, but I'm going to call this a very, very usable overdrive pedal. I don't think that's 3 gain. I think the first thing to talk about is I don't think that this is a 3 gain toggle switch. I think it was doing something with the low pass, high pass, or everything coming through sort of EQ filtering rather than a high or low gain knob. Not a bad thing, just something to bear in mind if you think I might pick one of these pedals up for £11.40. Honestly, there was a honk to it. Playing it, I think it's a little bit of the guitar, I think it's a little bit of how I run the amp, and then I think it's a little bit of the pedal, because when it was on the neck pickup, high gain, it was sort of turning into more of a fuzz than an overdrive, or you might say that's actually a cheap overdrive, but it was going to fuzz territory, the way that it was pushing the amp and stuff. But honestly, I do believe that this is a really usable overdrive. I think I might pop it on the board, the cheap pedal board, and pair it with the vintage overdrive, and I think out of those two, with the gain boost, or the roll boost, sorry, I think that that's 3 very usable overdrives for less than £30 or less than £34 or something. A range of tones there that I think would do most cover gigs and bits and pieces like that. So I'd thoroughly recommend, wouldn't endorse, but I'd thoroughly recommend the Ultimate Drive for £11 or whatever it was. So, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed your short stay with me today. As always, don't forget to hit the like and maybe even the subscribe button. We're closing in on 200 subscribers, and I'd love to finish 2025 with maybe 500, and I will continue to make this content for you if you continue to hit those buttons. So thank you so much for stopping by. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take care.